Hi everyone. The topic I'm going to cover today is the dangers of the internet in the classroom, and my target audience are elementary and middle school students, since nowadays the standard is to give all students a Chromebook or some kind of laptop for their coursework. I think this invites a lot of opportunities for them to come across dangerous website, and it's even more important to remain cautious and vigilant in such instances. Also, given the current COVID-19 pandemic, I think it's a good reminder for students to remember how dangerous the internet can be. So my hope is for this presentation to help them navigate that. Um, there are many topics I could have covered since the internet is such a vast and broad medium, but I chose to focus on a few basic ideas and tools that can help young students navigate the World Wide Web. So my first section focuses on pop-ups, which everyone is obviously familiar with and at some point must have probably encountered. Pop-ups can come across in all kinds of forms. They can be instructional, informational, promotional, entertaining, or for the purpose of our topic, a majority of them are unfortunately come in the form of a virus. These pop-ups are usually seeking personal information, such as an individual's address, password, social security information, bank account details, etc. So when a student views a website that is asking for such information, for example, personal details, they should generally try to avoid them and close them down. Also, if one gets a feeling that a website might be trying to extract such information, it should most definitely be avoided. A good solution for blocking pop-ups are something called ad blockers. Ad blockers is a downloadable application that simply does what its name suggests. It blocks any types of malicious pop-ups. So pop-ups usually open a new tab or a window, and what a good ad blocker does is that it automatically closes that pop-up and shuts it down. And the most useful ad blocker can usually be found on Chrome, which has a feature that allows students to be alerted when a website is not secure. However, this can be tricky sometimes because a non-secure web page doesn't necessarily always have malicious. An easy and simple tell to stay away from websites that cannot be trusted would be to look at their URLs. Most commonly, URLs ending in .edu, .gov, .net, and .org can be trusted because these are usually utilized by governments, education systems, and academic institutions, and a majority of nonprofit organizations. However, most students will more often than not come across websites ending in .com. Now, this can get tricky as there's no easy tell when it comes to recognizing what is secure versus non-secure. For example, a website like Google uses .com, but so does a website like 123movies.com, which not only promotes pirated movies, but also has various malicious pop-ups that can lead to a number of system hacks. The Wayback Machine is a tool that records snapshots of a website's page throughout its history. These snapshots gather some or all of the pages on the website. So, in basic terms, it's just a very efficient and useful tool for students to double check the accuracy of a website. It's as simple as copying a website's URL and pasting it in the search bar of Wayback Machine, to check the results. And as it explains on the website, the page will appear as it was at the time the snapshot was recorded. The links on the page may or may not work depending on whether or not those URLs were also recorded by the Wayback Machine. If you find that an internal page link does not work, try entering that URL into the Wayback Machine search bar at the top of the page. The search bar within the Learn page will not work. So out of Mayer's 12 principles of multimedia, I used four. First is the redundancy principle, which basically is narrating a topic and keeping the text short in comparison to the main argument. The second one is temporal contiguity principle, which is pretty simple, in which it explains how all of my pictures relate to the main idea that is being conveyed in the text as well as on my slides. Um, then there's the multimedia principle, which the idea is of using some kind of multimedia to explain my point. So all of my slides have pictures to illustrate the point I'm trying to get across. And then lastly, there's the voice principle, which I obviously am using right now to educate students on the topic of the dangers of the internet in the classroom. So that's it for my presentation. Thank you everyone for listening, and please be safe out there.